American military forces possess unparalleled combat experience, accumulated through decades of global operations that span every conceivable terrain and conflict scenario. From the jungles of Vietnam to the deserts of Iraq, from the mountains of Afghanistan to the urban environments of Syria, American troops have fought and adapted to challenges that most military forces have never encountered. This extensive operational history creates institutional knowledge that transforms theoretical military concepts into proven battlefield tactics. While other nations practice war games and conduct exercises, American forces have refined their capabilities through actual combat against determined adversaries using real weapons in life or death situations. The scope of American combat experience encompasses conflicts that have tested every aspect of military capability across multiple generations of warfare. American forces conducted amphibious assaults in the Pacific during World War II, fought mobile armored battles across European terrain, engaged in jungle warfare during Vietnam, executed rapid deployment operations during Desert Storm, and adapted to counterinsurgency tactics during extended operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. Each conflict provided unique lessons that shaped military doctrine while building experience bases that no competing military can replicate through training exercises or theoretical study. Modern American military doctrine reflects battlefield lessons learned through actual combat operations rather than theoretical concepts developed in academic settings. The integration of air power with ground operations was perfected through decades of joint operations that demonstrated how different military branches can support each other effectively. Close air support procedures were refined through thousands of combat missions where coordination failures resulted in casualties that taught painful but essential lessons. These experiences created protocols and training standards that prevent mistakes while maximizing the effectiveness of combined arms operations. Training centers across the United States simulate combat conditions based on actual operational experience rather than hypothetical scenarios. The National Training Center in California replicates desert warfare conditions that American forces encountered during operations in Iraq, using actual foreign equipment captured during combat operations to provide realistic opposition forces. The Joint Readiness Training Center in Louisiana recreates environments that mirror conditions American troops faced in various tropical conflicts. These training facilities cost hundreds of millions of dollars to construct and operate, but provide invaluable preparation based on proven battlefield requirements. The institutional knowledge preserved through 16.2 million American veterans who served in recent conflicts creates an experience reservoir that no competitor can match through independent development. These veterans include officers who commanded units in combat, non-commissioned officers who led squads and platoons under fire, and enlisted personnel who operated weapon systems against enemy forces. Their collective experience encompasses every aspect of modern warfare, from logistics and maintenance to intelligence gathering and direct combat operations. This knowledge base influences training programs, equipment development, and tactical doctrine throughout the American military system. Chinese military forces provide a stark contrast through their complete lack of major combat experience since 1979, when they conducted limited operations against Vietnamese forces. Chinese military doctrine remains largely theoretical because their officers have never commanded troops in actual combat situations where enemy forces shoot back with lethal intent. Their equipment has never been tested against determined adversaries using modern weapons and tactics. Chinese pilots have never engaged enemy aircraft in air-to-air combat, while Chinese naval forces have never conducted operations against hostile ships or submarines. This experience gap creates fundamental disadvantages that cannot be overcome through training exercises or war games. Russian military forces demonstrate how combat experience advantages can erode over time when military organizations fail to maintain operational tempo and institutional knowledge. Russian forces fought extensively during the Soviet era, but have struggled to maintain effectiveness during recent operations in Georgia, Crimea, and Ukraine. Many experienced Russian officers retired or left military service during economic difficulties of the 1990s, creating knowledge gaps that continue to affect operational effectiveness. Russian military doctrine has evolved slowly because their forces lack the continuous combat experience that drives rapid adaptation and improvement. American military leadership has been forged through actual combat command experience that creates decision-making abilities impossible to develop through peacetime service. Officers who have commanded troops in combat understand the psychological pressures and tactical complexities that characterize actual warfare. They have made life or death decisions under extreme stress while managing complex operations involving multiple units and changing enemy situations. This command experience creates military leaders who remain calm during crisis situations while making effective decisions based on proven battlefield knowledge rather than theoretical concepts. Combat experience also drives equipment development and modification programs that create technological advantages based on actual battlefield requirements rather than theoretical specifications. American weapons systems have been tested against enemy forces using real ammunition in life or death situations where equipment failure means mission failure and potential casualties. This combat testing reveals design flaws and operational limitations that cannot be identified through laboratory testing or training exercises. The feedback from combat operations drives continuous improvement programs that ensure American equipment remains superior to foreign systems that have never been tested under actual combat conditions. The psychological advantages created by proven combat effectiveness extend beyond actual capabilities to influence enemy decision-making through demonstrated rather than theoretical military power. Potential adversaries must account for American military capabilities that have been proven through actual combat operations rather than relying on theoretical assessments of untested equipment and tactics. This proven effectiveness creates deterrent effects that prevent conflicts while providing negotiating advantages during diplomatic disputes.